A mystery illness has hit a remote town in Colombia. More than 200 girls have been hospitalized after receiving shots of a vaccine to prevent cervical cancer.
The Pan American Health Organization reports there were 886 measles cases in 2018 in Venezuela and more than 159 already this year.
Refrigeration is one of the most relevant creations for human livelihood. Thousands of medicines depend on it, as blood samples and vaccines, that all must be kept between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius. This technology requires constant use of energy for its operation, and that's why it is responsible for 17% of the world's energy demand. For example, a regular refrigerator used at home spends an average of 1,225 kilowatt-hours a year, while all other appliances combined use only an average of 250 kilowatt-hours a year. The massive demand for energy is responsible for 8% of the total greenhouse gas emissions, equivalent to 2.95 billion tons of carbon dioxide. Although the refrigeration industry is highly polluting, it is fundamental for health services and thus for people's well-being. But the real issue is approximately 16% of the world's population do not have access to electricity and therefore don't have the opportunity to benefit from adequate refrigeration. According to the World Health Organization in 2018, global vaccination coverage rate has halted at 85%. In recent years, no significant changes have been reported. This is not only due to the lack of electricity, but also due to the lack of roadways, because the most efficient refrigeration systems in transportation are trucks, planes, and even boats. Those systems work with traditional refrigeration gases, so in addition to being highly polluting, they require an infrastructure that many countries don't have. For example, in Colombia, 94% of the country is rural, and 32% of the population lives in these areas. One of the most common methods of transportation to rural areas is to use expanded polystyrene coolers or polypropylene fridges, both of which work with ice packs inside. These methods are the most inexpensive means, but they generate countless losses. They are not well insulated and thus, the ice melts very quickly. They are not adequate for retaining core temperatures during prolonged periods of time, especially in warm environments. So, taking into account all these data and information, this antiquated system generates not only negative environmental impacts, but human ones as well. We wonder, is this system actually inexpensive? Considering its efficiency and impact on human lives, we conclude that current solutions come at a very high cost to the planet and its inhabitants.